Okay, Ron. Uh, so first things first. That's 2019, and you need to get a good image. So maybe a side, like what an isometric sketch would look like of your project turned sideways, showing all a nice. You have a lovely project, so make sure and get a good photo of that in there, and change that to your exam number. On your table of contents, Ron, just make sure that everything that's listed here at whatever page is correlates to what's inside the thing. That needs to be there for sure. The other, this one here is not in the template joining methods, but needs to be in the project. So there's a section in between materials, research and finishes that you need to add a page with the title, so you can use the same format as materials research. Just change the top to, just change where you can copy and paste this materials research page, add it in a new page, change the title to joining methods, and then maybe put in 3 or 4 different types of joints. You can put in a housing joint, you can put in a mortise and tenon which you used, you can put in what else did you use? Even if you don't use it, put in a dovetail, put in a bridle joint, whatever. Put in 3 or 4 different types of joints, just to show that you considered it before you started the project. Alright, good man. Okay, that's fine. Distinctive, right, they're okay. Range, just put, add in a bit more. Secondary function, a new idea, device or method for a secondary use or something like that of the same project. Not gone in capital letters. Run, look, this is nice up here the way you've done it here, and then you've gone to capital letters here. Try and keep the same format throughout. Yeah, look, you're going to have a very good project. You need to back it up with a very good brief if you want to get close to full marks for that. Right, okay. Spider diagram, Ron. You need to get your spider diagram drawn out. There's an example of one there, and you're more than capable of drawing that in with the headings in it and bits coming off it. Woods, you could have like materials, and then materials split into woods, and then woods is split into softwood, hardwood, manufacture boards, and then you give 3 different types of that, have it go around the page. It really brings a project to life. If you can add a bit of colour into the headings and all that, it's really worth doing, and it shows that you've considered a lot of things before you started your research. You considered all these different things before you started looking and researching them. Alright, project planning, that's fine. Make sure that's the exact same as what I give you. Okay, design considerations. So design considerations means where is it going to go, who's going to use it, what did it say in the example? So why have you chosen the brief, where is it going to be used? Right, you seem to have answered them questions. Grand, make 1 sentence of it. You don't have to be, so maybe bring that around and put it in there. Make 1 sentence out of it. Or you can make bullet points out of it as well. They look neat as well. Design constraints. So what are the limitations you face? Or what restrictions do you face? So obviously you can't make the thing out of gold. You know what I mean? So you have to say what, before I start, I'm aware of the things that I'm going to be up against. So one of them you've put in here must not exceed 450. That's fine. Another thing might be it's going to be going in a kitchen, so it needs to be very user friendly, as the kitchen is a very busy environment. So the person using it needs to be able to see it easily, and then you've got and put it on a lazy Susan, which explains, it shows that there's a story. He saw a problem and then he solved it. You know what I mean? Things maybe like the aesthetics. The kitchen is a modern kitchen and it needs to fit within that. Time. I have to have it made by the end of March, so I need to plan out my time accordingly, and so on. What are the constraints? There's a load of headings there in the example on the side of the page, so you should be able to use them. Primary research questionnaire. Look, you seem to have done a questionnaire, light, dark, light, medium. Right, put a box in underneath there. You can just draw a box, move that sentence down, maybe a box in underneath there. And if you have done a questionnaire or an interview, what were the results? Put 2 sentences in. I asked 10 people this, and a lot of them seemed to prefer a light and medium between a base and piece. Now, you're probably being too specific there, Ron, because the project isn't made yet. So, what contrasts of woods do you like to see? Leave it at that. You know what I mean? Nothing is made at this section here. Alright? Rowan, this page is blank, so this should be photos that you've taken yourself, maybe a photo where the thing is going, and right underneath the thing is going there. You've had this now since 26th of October. So, you've had this template, so this should be done, Ron, and you're going to have a very good physical project. If you're not going to back it up with a portfolio, you're not going to be expecting the marks that you deserve. So you have a very busy 48 hours ahead of you. You need to get this thing done. You're missing the whole primary. You're missing the whole... Are you? So you seem to have moved around. This is not in the correct order, I don't think. Time management reflection. Sorry, now, let me see. Let's see, Gantt chart. Right, that goes after your Gantt chart. Rowan, will you have a look at the order you gave me these in? I'm not sure these pages are stapled correctly. And your time reflection, maybe add in 2 or 3 more sentences about things that you're going to consider. So, I'm not good at computer skills, or I haven't done a lot of computer work, or haven't used a lot of computers, so I'm going to allocate a lot of time to try and get my portfolio up to scratch. I haven't done laminating before, which you said, that's fine. I'm going to make sure I'm going to get the thing done by the end of March, so that I have plenty of time to finish the thing. You know what I mean? Something that you're going to do. So your aim, design and create an artifact, store printed material, that's fine. Improve my ability to make a project in a certain time frame. Improve my ability to make woodwork joints. So they're your aims. How are you going to measure these down here? So aim 1, design and create an artifact, store and print materials, specified time. That's not an aim, that's your objective. How are you going to measure that? So the object I produce, the object I should produce should be able to fit A4 pages inside it. Improve my ability to make project in a certain time frame. I will have the project done on time, with 2 weeks to spare, so that I can finish it. Improve my ability to make woodwork joints. I'm going to saw on the wayside of the line and make sure and process my joints accurately. Make sure the joints are processed accurately. Easiest page in it, Rowan, 6 images from the internet and a sentence about what's going on in the mood board and how that's going to influence you underneath. Get it done like good man. Easy pictures of things that are a cookbook, maybe a utensil that you've considered putting in there, maybe a spoon or something the size of it. Just simple stuff that's around the kitchen that you might be using in your project. Will you, for God's sake, put that in? You've had 6 months to do it. Product analysis, you've examined it under aesthetics and cost. Maybe pick 2 or 3 more headings. So do something like manufacture, so you can see there's carving in that. So say, the manufacture, this one takes a lot more time because there's carving on it. It takes a lot of time. Whereas this one is just joints. There might be mortise and tenon joints on it. Something about it. There's headings in the example or headings in the explanation. Will you use 2 more of them and examine them under that like a mad? Right. Hardwood type 1. That's not the heading. Oak is your heading. Birch is your heading. So the hardwood type 1 is not it. And there was 3 different ones. So put in 3 different types. And put a picture of it, a picture of it. I think I gave you that in the template. You deleted it out for some reason. Like it's that I'm not going to know. Right. Other materials. So is softwood missing out of it? Right. So you've just not done them. So that's hardwood trees. There's another section for softwood trees. There's another section for manufactured boards. Will you kindly use the one that I gave you, Rowan, and fill them in like a good man. Fill in 3 different types of softwoods, 3 different types of manufactured boards. Materials, leather, thermal. I like leather, I haven't seen that. Good man. So that's your heading. Leather is your heading. Leather is your heading. Thermosetting plastic is your heading. So I'll take that out because they'll know you did it from a template. Delete that, please. So thermosetting plastic is your heading, and then start your sentence underneath there. And there was room for 3 of them. So do epoxy resin or screws or something like that, or glass, another type of material. Finishes, there was 3 different types of that. Put in a picture of a tin of Danish oil, tin of varnish, and then a tin of the third one that you're going to use as well, please. These are fine. Yeah, it's good. That's fine. Right. You need to have the previous sections, so the softwood, hardwoods, you need to have them exactly like this. Neat pictures beside it. Clearly identify the heading on it and the information about it. This is perfect. If you could do that for the previous pages, you'd be sorted. And like I said, you're going to have to add in a section before finishes, like I said at the start, called joining methods. You can do it exactly the same format as that. Have the heading joining methods, and then you'd have dovetail joint, picture of a dovetail joint explaining what it does, bridle joint, picture of a bridle joint, what it does. So you've a lot of work to do, man. You've a lot of work to do. This is all grand enough. Right. I can see the there. I can see the softwoods are here. This thing's all over the place. Will you make sure it's in the correct order, please? I'm not sure if you stapled it together wrong or not, but it's in the wrong order. And there was 3 different types. Softwood type is not the heading. Softwood type 2 is not the heading. Douglas fir is the heading. Scots pine is the heading. You need a third one in there. Picture. Yeah, man-made boards, same thing. That's not your heading. That's not your heading. You need a third one, and you need to put a picture of each of the 3 of them. Evaluation of research. Right. So, evaluation of research. This is not new information. This is you saying what you learned from primary research. So I asked my parents, is new information that I don't want to know about in an evaluation. I want you to say, from my primary research, I did an interview with a carpenter, or I conducted a survey back the way. In my survey, I found that 6 out of 10 people prefer a curved piece in a modern kitchen, or whatever your survey found out. Your secondary research, the pictures that you didn't fill in, the sizes and things from that, maybe say the biggest size of a cookbook is going to be 300 millimeters high. That's secondary research from the internet. Material research, FlexiPly is used to make laminating boards. Remember, I used FlexiPly, cannot be in there because this was done before you made the project. So you can't use that. I will use, I might use, I may use, is fine. This happened before you made the thing. A piece of information you learned about finishes, a piece of information when you add in that page with joining methods, piece of information you found about all of them, please. Pieces of information, lathe and chisels, not it. What information do you find out? Chisels can also be used for carving. Power tools, I am not allowed to use, in Unisearch, I am not allowed to use a router or a bandsaw, so I may have to use another method to cut a curve. Alright? Other processes might go in there as well. Rowan, they are not in there. At this stage, you need to take a photo of the design, and you need to copy and paste that photo, get that photo from your phone into that box, and fill in full sentences these 3 aspects. There are huge marks going for the design part of this, and you have 0 on this. You've had it since 26th of October. So you need to fill all of these. This needs to happen, man. There is no 2 ways about it. This needs to go in. If you don't do that, there is no way you're going to get the marks you deserve if you don't fill in these sections. One of these fill in. Look, one of them. The design is unique and nice to look at. Oh no, design idea 3. Design is unique to book a store. Right, you need 2 bad aspects, 3 good aspects, full sentences, capital letters at the start. about 2 or 3 sentences to say does it meet the brief. Use words out of the brief. It is not slimline. It can hold printed material because there's a section underneath or whatever. You need to use 2 or 3 full sentences to say whether it hit the brief. Chosen idea, an exact drawing of your final project. An exact drawing of it. So whatever way it is, an exact drawing of your final project in there. Please, Rowan, and fill in full sentences here like good man. That needs to happen, an exact drawing of it. The working drawing, Rowan, you're a TG student, so you should have no problem drawing. Plan elevation and end view of your project to exact scale. So if the height of yours is 400, make it 40, or make it scale 1:5, make it 8 centimeters high. So scale it down, divide all the measurements by 5, and then you'll fit them all in there. Needs to go in. There's huge marks going for this. Cutting list, need to fill that in. 26th of October is when you got this. If you were to remake the project, what bits of wood would you need to make it? Every single bit of wood and every type of wood, every one of these filled out. What types of bits of wood would you need to finish off the project? Rowan, needs to happen. Evaluation and conclusion is not done. There's a full example and any amount of headings that you could use to evaluate your project, that needs to be filled in the next 48 hours, or you are not getting good marks for this. Conclusion the same. So all these, there's examples and explanations as to what goes in all these. You have all the information, Ron. You've had it since the 26th of October. You need to finish this project. There is no two ways about it. You need to do a lot of work on this. 48 hours left. You're going to have to use a lot of them hours to make sure that this portfolio is up to scratch.